What's going on, folks? This is Zaide back with another episode of DramaQuest, sort of, I guess. It's been a while, but this is sort of a little news update we're going to do. I saw that I think today Everquest released a development roadmap. They did an exclusive interview with PC Gamer for some reason, and while the interview was basically a whole lot of nothing, it included a snapshot of this image here of the 2024 development roadmap, which is pretty cool. So I wanted to check it out, go over some of the things on here with you guys. And there's one item that I think is like really big that we're going to talk about closer to the end. But in the meantime, we'll walk through all the months and see what we think of the 2024 plan for EverQuest. So the year of Darkpaw. So in January, we're supposed to have swag for sale. I think that means like physical items, t-shirts, albums, stuff like that. We'll see when that happens. I mean, like at the time of recording, we're already most of the way through January, so I would think that would be sometime soon, if it's going to be in January. We're going to have a monthly collection giveaway, limited edition items. Who kind of like who cares? I'm sure they're not going to be incredible items. They probably won't be on most TLPs, or at least not the super populated TLPs that people care about. Anniversary Tower. The Anniversary Tower thing sounds pretty cool, but I think it's going to be mostly a live server thing, so we'll see. I think that's like all year they're going to have the Anniversary Tower stuff going on. So that's a quest each month, it looks like, with a heroic adventure and merchant items added. The concept I really like. We'll see how it goes throughout the year, if it kind of like falls off or if they stay pretty committed to it. There's the Ask Me Anything forum thread. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but Angeliana posted it a while ago. So you can go there and post your questions for Darkpaw, and we'll see if they'll answer questions, if they'll just moderate some out, or if they'll take some of the tough questions, or just, the softballs. Hopefully they'll answer like real questions that people really care about. Tier 1 raids for the new expansion, great. And the DirectX 11 API port launch. We'll see. Excited to see how that goes. Then we got February, more collections, more tower. Soundtrack Volume 2 released on streaming services. Did we have anything on that? Oh yeah, we missed it up here. Soundtrack Volume 1 released on streaming services. I don't know what that means, really. I remember reading something about this like last year. Soundtrack Volume 1, I think, was already on Spotify. If it's the thing that came, in the vinyl, that was already put on Spotify, so I don't know what the deal is with that. And Volume 2, I don't know if we got a physical release or if this is just something totally separate. But be that as it may, it would be really cool because EverQuest has a soundtrack for each of its expansions, at least up through like Planes of Power. It would be really cool if we got the soundtracks of all that stuff put on there. Like you can go on YouTube right now and people have ripped the Luckland soundtrack, which was lost for many years, and put it on YouTube. And there are some bangers on the Luckland soundtrack, but the only place to find it really is to download it yourself or to listen to it on YouTube. So I think they're missing out by not putting it on some kind of streaming service where they can generate their own revenue for us listening to it. And it would be great, like when you're streaming the game, to have that audio, you know what I mean, and the credit going to Darkpaw to support the game rather than just like some dude's YouTube video of it. So Volume 2, yeah, we'll see what that is. Adding January giveaway item for purchase. Okay, so there was a giveaway, and now instead of getting it via giveaway, you can just buy it. Okay, cool. Tier 2 raids unlocked. Irolacy Day event returns. Okay, that's like their Valentine's Day. Cool. I like the immersion of keeping it like in universe. Irolacy, the goddess of love. March, boom, that's the 25th anniversary. So new anniversary content, great. More collection, more tower. The previous month giveaway item for purchase again, great. I assume that's going to be a theme all the way through, so we'll just ignore it from now on. That's when we'll also get the AMA responses from January, so can't wait to see that. Tier 3 raids unlocked, and I think that wraps up the raids for the new expansion. I wonder if they're going to do a suspension wave the day before each one of these raid tier unlocks like they did a couple years ago. Okay, so March we have the EQ swag store launch. There's already a Darkpaw Games swag store, but it's like 99.9% EverQuest 2 shit. And this is up here in January. We have what? Something about swag. Year of Darkpaw swag for sale. So they're supposed to have swag for sale in January, but the store doesn't launch until March. Okay. Brew Day event, Bristlebane Day, Stomples Day, great. It's just kind of like stuff that always happens, and not really a big deal or noteworthy or cool even for most of these. More collections in April. Tempest Festival, great. That one's pretty brief. May, boom, this is going to be the big one, right? Monthly collection, blah, 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 blah. New progression servers, that's pretty much it. New progression servers. So that's going to be in May. I would bet money that that's going to launch on let's see here. Go down to May. It's going to launch on the 15th, the 22nd, or the 29th. I would err on the side of the 22nd, actually. I'm going to go with the 4th Wednesday in May. No details on the rules just yet, but, people have thoughts. We'll see what they do. Hopefully it's something good. But none of that matters right now, in my opinion, until they get, issues with cheating under control. And we'll touch on that. We'll touch on that later. We'll see. But yeah, it's just like hard to really be excited about any new server and playing hard or doing anything other than kind of like casual content on a new server. If they don't get cheating tamped down a little bit. And even playing casually is kind of like, it just loses a little bit of the joy knowing that there's like cheating happening somewhere out there, probably that they're just not doing anything about and probably don't care about. Anyway, more of that later because it does come up. June, more of all the same. Pride Month familiars, cool. Hardcore Heritage, great. Scorched Sky, cool. July, all the same stuff. Potential server merge, Thornblade to Mischief, big. I feel bad for a guild. I think there was a guild on Thornblade that just like mass purchased to swap over to Mischief. Whoops. Hopefully they see this before. But yeah, so that tells you a little bit about the status of Thornblade. Mischief, if you go on the EQ resource and check out the server pop standards, it's high all the time. They didn't take the AFK auto kick until like Secrets of Fadeware for Mischief. So crazy, never been done for a server, like that before. It's always usually taken off like in pop or earlier. So it's really, really incredible that Mischief had that kind of population. And I think they could have merged Thornblade last year because they always do merges in like June or July. That's like their window of opportunity for this. I think they could have done it last year, but Mischief was still too poppin' for them to put the population into it. So I think that's why we're seeing it now. Mischief population probably gone down a little bit, but it still shows as high, like 24/7, 365 right now. And it's up there. Like the only other server that was currently doing that was Oakwind. And I think on some days it might even be beating Oakwind. But again, it's a little bit different now because we have the Bazaar and we have AFK auto kick turned off. I'm sure Oakwind still has AFK auto kick on. So not a fair fight, but Mischief smoking like all the live servers and everything else. Legacy events, Death. Those are pretty cool if you're on a server that has them. August, Extra Life, great. That's going to be great. Stone Cold Summer, who cares? Extra Life incentives will be great. And prepping for that. Game day is going to be like November, I would guess. September. Talk Like a Pirate Day. Okay, so nothing in September. October. There's usually something cool for Halloween. Yeah, Night of the Dead. That'll be great. Beta opens for the next expansion, the 31st expansion. Kind of crazy. Pre-orders also open. We'll probably have like a bunch of cool bonuses with that. November. What do we get? Champions Festival. Everquest 2 hits their 20th anniversary. Yep, then we have our Extra Life Game Day. We have Raid. Feast of Giving. So some cool stuff in there. And then December, we wrap it up. Frostfell in New Year's event. Pretty much it. Didn't hear anything about the UI, but we have this thing down here. Let's see. Throughout the year, server performance improvements. Great. Good to see that. Ongoing conversion of Suite Windows to the new UI engine. That's going to be good. I think that was on like the roadmap last year. I thought they were going to finish it then. But I guess they didn't. Last time I was playing on TLP servers, The UI was a little bit buggy still. Things would like randomly break, or sometimes you could crash, or like Windows would like, when you would open up a bag, it would like open up behind your inventory. So you'd be like, where's my bag? And it's just because it's like behind your inventory window, you have to like move it around. So things like that. Honestly, I didn't see a lot of improvement. You know what I mean? Like it felt like the same UI, just worse. So hopefully this year, throughout the year, we'll see some of the improvement part of all that. Other than like snapping, I think that was the only cool thing that we saw, right? Was like it could snap to edges and stuff like that of other windows or of the screen. And then the big one, the big item throughout the year, anti-cheat improvements. Now, when this was sent to me, one of my friends, sent me this article. He's like, Everquest is adding anti-cheat. I was like, no way, they're adding anti-cheat? That's super awesome. And then I read this and I was like, oh, anti-cheat improvements. They're not adding anti-cheat. They're improving the system that doesn't work already that they have, right? Totally different thing. Anti-cheat right now in Everquest just is garbage. I mean, maybe it's great. I've heard it's actually really good at detecting cheating. But there's the other half of that where you have to like enforce it, right? You have to suspend and ban people who cheat. We'll see. We'll see what they do. I hope they do. I hope things improve, and I hope this anti-cheat is really good and it detects things fast, flags it so it's noticed, and then action is taken quickly. I hope they do that to add integrity back to a lot of parts of the game that have been kind of like suffering, but I'm not confident. Why am I not confident? Well, just like, history, playing Everquest for almost 25 years now, I think you kind of have learned what to expect from the parent companies that run it most of the time. And I think that the staff cares to an extent, and I think that they would like to dedicate more to it probably, but there's just only so much available. You know what I mean? It's a small team, and it's getting smaller every year pretty much. And when they add new people, they're people who are like not familiar with the game. New devs that are getting signed on are like younger than the player base significantly. I think I was considered like a relatively young Everquest player. I started when I was like a single digit age when I started playing EQ. And some of the devs were like younger than me last time I was talking to people. So there's a loss whenever you lose like a legacy developer from the team. It's years of familiarity with the content, with the peculiar nature of EQ, and you almost can't replace it ever. You know what I mean? So it's rough, and that's one of the issues with anti-cheat is like their resources are pretty constrained, I would guess. The other thing that makes me really hesitant is like when Airdoon launched. Airdoon, people often forget, was the server that was launching with increased customer service. It was going to have like dedicated GMs and things like that. And it didn't. I mean, like, it basically had nothing better than just like a standard TLP. That was it. I don't know anybody who felt like there was a great customer service situation going on for Airdoon. And that was a relatively, that was like 3 years ago, I guess now, going on 4 years ago by the time this launches, this new TLP. If they couldn't do it then, I don't think they're going to do better now. You know what I mean? So I just don't have a lot of confidence. And until we see improvements on that front, I don't know that I would take playing on a new TLP seriously. You know what I mean? I want to see people be afraid to cheat, or people to say like, okay, like I want the vibe to be, if you're going to cheat, you're going to get banned, not suspended. You're like, you'll be banned. Right now, everybody and their mom cheats. It's just totally crazy. And you suspect that unless you get like caught on video, you'll never face any repercussions. So if you just, aren't too obnoxious with it, it won't matter. And then some people are just crazy walking around with like 50 characters and they don't get banned anyway, or they'll get suspended, and it's just like, who cares? So until that is fixed, it really takes a lot of the incentive, not incentive. It just like, you hear about a new TLP server and you're like, that you get that hype, you know what I mean? You're passionate about it. And then you think about the kind of cheating situation on these servers now. And you're like, yeah, do I really care that much? You know what I mean? So if they really improve the anti-cheat here, I think it could be the best thing that they've done in years. it could be big. And I know a lot of people would be interested in coming back and playing again. But we'll see. We'll see. Improving the anti-cheat is like a double-edged sword for them because the cheaters spend a lot of money. If you have 50 accounts, it's a lot of chrono, right? It's a lot of chrono that you're spending every month. It's certainly not spending real-life money because you're just getting chrono from people who like buy your RMT goods. But yeah, I mean, to them on the Dark Paw side is probably all the same. So banning people who cheat, especially at that level, is probably a big hit to the revenue. We'll see what happens. We'll see if like maybe once they detect the level of cheating, if they're gonna bite that bullet and take action, or if it'll just be kind of like a warning. I would think that like if you wanted to not annihilate your player base too much, you might say, hey, we've improved our anti-cheat detection. It's gone in. We are able to much more reliably detect cheating of all types. If you are doing something that you suspect may count as cheating, this is your one time only warning. Starting like next month, you're done, right? And so then you just have to stop and hope that you don't get hit, or you do it and face the consequences, or see if they hold up their end of the bargain on that. But anyway, this is the development roadmap 2024. A lot of things don't matter. I'm super interested at the TLP rule set here, interested in this swag and the 2 soundtracks. I think those were the highlights. Oh yeah, and the server merge for Thornblade and Mischief. All of these things are the big takeaways here. I'm not really a live player, so I'm sure there's some things here that live players would be more interested in. And what else? Extra life. Those are like the five things. We'll see how this server performance improvements will go. We'll see about this new UI engine, and we'll see about anti-cheat. The server performance, I've got to say, since J-Chan took over, has gone up. Like, the servers are way more stable. I think J-Chan had like a technical background prior to becoming the big boss over there, and it really shows in the way they've improved the back end so much with Everquest. It's more stable, it's more reliable, there's less lag, there's less server crashing. There's a lot more plat dupes. I don't know why that happened, but you know what I mean? The game structure, the skeleton of the game seems a lot more robust and better now. And I think that's great. It affects players in like this kind of intangible way that you don't always think about, but it's definitely there. And there are far fewer annoying occurrences, fewer like expansions opening late, zones being like a laggy mess, zones crashing, all that stuff is far less common. It's not, I mean, it still happens here and there, but it's way less common than it was in the Holly days. So anyway, that's my review of the development roadmap. That's my little rant about their anti-cheat. Please, Dark Paw, do it. Take the anti-cheat seriously. It'll breathe new life into the game. So go forth with it. And here's wishing Dark Paw all the best for 2024. Oh yeah, and I guess we should talk about DramaQuest while we're here for a second. New episodes coming out quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm recording at least like 2 episodes later this week. So we'll have a bunch more coming up from that. We have a Patreon now. It'll be linked in the video and everything, but I mean, it's like patreon.com/DramaQuest. So if you want to help support the show, consider going there and jumping on to support. That would be really awesome. And lots of expansions. I plan to add like 2 or 3 new styles of content, new types of show for DramaQuest. For the most part, it's been like server TLP specific mostly, but server history of Everquest. There are other areas I want to get into, one of which we're kind of like doing right now, right? Like news. So that is, of course, one of them, but there's a few more. And yeah, I just want to expand it, especially because like the history thing with Everquest, there's only so much of it. Once you've done every server, you start digging deep into the crates there, trying to find something to talk about on that. You know what I mean? You can only do so many like Ralos Zek episodes before people are kind of like, okay, we get it. Like people PvP'd and they took screenshots of corpses and made a collage. But we'll do all kinds of other stuff, lore, expansion walkthroughs, technical interviews, news. the latest and greatest current ongoing drama kind of stuff. So we'll do all that. And if you get involved in the Patreon, you'll have access to bonus content. You'll get content at least one day earlier. You'll have special Discord access for our Discord, and a bunch of other things I can't even think of off the top of my head here. But yeah, so consider checking out the Patreon. Look for more content later this week, probably sometime in the weekend. And I hope to see you all again. Oh yeah, streaming soon. I don't think I'll be streaming Everquest right away, but I'll be streaming. My plan right now is to stream Champions of Norath 1 and 2. Work through that on the PS2. I got this nice capture card setup going on, so I can actually like plug my PlayStation 2 basically directly into my computer using a RetroTink, throw it on there. We could play like 4K upscaled PlayStation 2 Everquest. Maybe we'll do Lords of Everquest, the RTS game. Mess around with all that kind of stuff. But I don't want to like enmesh myself in the MMO right away right now. And that'll be the topic of like a bonus episode or another DramaQuest episode in the near future. But yeah, trying to stay away from the addictive MMO part of things for right now and focusing on other pursuits. Anyway, that's it. Zaide out. Love you guys. Later.